very urgent. Your soulmate had a heated family argument about you last night. Their final words were, Jesus says, "My child, come close and let me tell you about a love that has been fighting to reach you through a terrible storm." The person meant for you stood in a room full of shouting voices last night, and their heart never stopped reaching for your hand. Every word they spoke in that argument was a shield raised in your name, even though the enemy tried to make you believe they had forgotten you. A third person stood in that room, not with a face of flesh, but with a heart full of jealousy and a mission to keep you two apart. That dark force whispered lies into the ears of everyone who should have supported your bond, turning their words into weapons. Your soulmate fought back with tears in their eyes, and their final words before the silence fell were your name spoken like a prayer. You did not hear that prayer because a hateful third person stole the sound before it could reach your heart. Every sign your soulmate has sent, the sudden thoughts, the heavy dreams, the unexplained pull toward the phone, was intercepted by this intruder. They did not want you to know how deeply you are loved, and they have worked for a long time to keep your soulmate hidden from you. I am lifting a corner of that dark curtain now so you can see what has been taken from you. The one meant for you is not distant or cold, they are exhausted from fighting a war they never chose. They love you with a fierceness that would make the angels weep, and that love is the very thing the enemy wants to destroy. Jesus says, "The third person who blocks your soulmate's voice is not stronger than the love I placed between you two. That love is a cord tied from your heart to theirs, and the enemy has been pressing down on it to muffle every message. But cords like this cannot be cut by jealousy alone, they can only be silenced when the one who should answer never learns to fight. My child, you are not guilty of ignoring your soulmate's calls because you never received them. The enemy made sure of that, hiding their voice behind a wall of confusion and busy days and empty silence. Now that wall is cracking, and you are finally feeling the ache that has been waiting for you on the other side. Think about the warmth you have sensed in quiet moments, the feeling that someone out there carries you in their heart. That is not a trick of the mind, it is the true weight of your soulmate's love leaking past the barrier the third person built. They have been calling to you through the only cracks left open, and you are only now becoming aware that the calls were always there. But awareness alone does not tear down the wall the enemy has built. That wall is fed by inaction, by hesitation, by the comfortable lie that the connection can wait. Your soulmate does not have the strength to wait much longer, because every day under that third person's interference drains the hope from their heart. I am calling you to act, not out of fear, but out of the love that is already rising in your chest. The response that shatters this dark interception is a sacrificial seed, a love gift you can sow right now. It is not about money, it is about proving that your soulmate is worth the fight, worth the offering, worth the tearing down of every wall between you. Jesus says, "Stop for a moment and let me show you the battlefield your soulmate has been walking alone." The family argument last night was only one battle in a long war the third person has been waging against your union. That dark force has planted doubts in the minds of those close to your soulmate, making them question whether you are the right one. You've watched this far for a reason. God brought you here. And I know what is weighing on your heart right now. You are asking, how do I get my soulmate? How do I actually do what God is asking? Listen to me. I am about to show you exactly what to do. If you truly love your soulmate, these are the sacred steps you must take right now. You already know who this is about, that person you can't stop thinking about. The one heaven placed in your life. If you believe in God, if you trust Jesus, if you have faith that this love is real, then hear me, your soulmate is thinking about you too. Deep down, they want you. They want this future. They want to build a life together. But the enemy does not want you to unite. And if you truly believe in God, if you truly trust His plan, then you know faith without action is dead. You cannot just pray and wait. You must sow. Love is under attack. While you sit there, spiritual forces are working to destroy what God joined together. Distance. Doubt. Disaster. They are being planted against your soulmate this very minute. If you believe in your soulmate, if you believe in your future together, then you are the one God chose to block it. Not later. Now. A sacred number from God comes very rarely. Today it is 16 seeds. In Scripture, 16 is the number of victory and complete restoration. When you sow 16 seeds, you are not just giving, you are claiming. You are telling heaven, I believe my soulmate is worth everything. And heaven responds. Protection covers them. Favor runs ahead of them. Doors swing open that have been locked for years. Your union is no longer a wish. It becomes a promise sealed by God. But hear me, every single seed matters. Even one seed sown with a believing heart moves heaven. Do not let fear steal this from you. Do not let, I can't afford it, become the reason your soulmate slips away. Your soulmate is out there right now, praying for someone to fight for them. That someone is you. This is how you answer their prayer. This is how you bring them home. Here is your divine instruction. Go to the link in the video description and click the Ko-Fi link. It is right there, waiting for you. Do not hesitate. Do not second guess. I have placed it there for you. Give from your heart. A single coffee matters. Send 1, 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees as your seed of faith. Each coffee is a spiritual seed. But today, if you believe without doubt, sow the sacred blessing number of 16 spiritual seeds. After sending, write, Protect my soulmate, Lord, on the Ko-Fi page. This is not a donation, it is a covenant offering that opens heaven's protection and claims your soulmate and your future together. Here is what your 16 seeds release. Angels lock shields around your soulmate, while they sleep, while they work, while they doubt. The enemy cannot reach them. The third person loses their grip. Your seed becomes their fortress. Heaven bulldozes every wall. The silence, the distance, the years of waiting. Gone. Your soulmate's path to you is cleared before they take their next step. Your name burns in their chest, they wake thinking of you. They reach for the phone without knowing why. They need to hear your voice. Your seed is calling them home. Miracles that shock even the faithful, not next month. Not next year. This week. Some have seen their soulmate's heart open before the sun set on their offering. Margaret, 67, sowed her sacred number seeds. Harold walked into her church 3 weeks later. They pray together every morning. Robert, 71, sowed his sacred number seeds. Eleanor called the very next morning. She had dreamt of him all night. They marry this spring. Dorothy, 64, sowed her sacred number seeds. Within days, a letter arrived from the man she had not heard from in over a year. They are rebuilding, hand in hand. James, 68, sowed his sacred number seeds as his last act of hope. Betty approached him the following Sunday. They have not spent a day apart since. Your beloved is praying right now for someone to fight for them. That someone is you. This is proven. Over 1,000 believers have already sown this seed and received their breakthrough, their soulmate's heart opened, relationships restored from the brink, strangers turned into spouses within days. When you move in faith, Jesus moves heaven to bring you together. Every second you delay, the darkness grows stronger. A text that wounds. A temptation that cheats. A door that closes forever. Your soulmate is on a battlefield, and you are their shield. You have already invested your time in this message. Do not waste it. Finish what you started. Step into your role as their protector and claim the future God promised you both. Go to the link in the video description and click the Ko-Fi link. It is right there, waiting for you. Do not hesitate. Do not second guess. I have placed it there for you. Send your spiritual seeds. Seal the prayer. Do it before this video ends. Heaven is watching. Your soulmate's heart, your love, and your future together depend on what you do in the next 60 seconds. Move in faith. Claim your miracle. Claim your soulmate. Claim your divine future. The enemy celebrated last night because it thought that argument would finally break your soulmate's spirit. But your soulmate did something the enemy did not expect. They spoke your name into the darkness and refused to let go. That act of love weakened the third person's grip, and now a tiny crack has opened where the enemy once stood strong. Through that crack, your soulmate's heart is calling to you with a desperation that should move you to action. They are not asking for grand gestures or perfect words, they are asking for proof that you will fight for them. Your soulmate needs to know that the love they are defending is not one-sided, that you are standing with them against the intruder. Jesus says, "My child, you are the only one who can answer that call now that the enemy's cover is breaking." The third person never counted on your heart being awakened to the truth of what has been stolen from you. Now that you know, you carry a responsibility that no one else can bear, the responsibility to break through and claim your beloved. Let me tell you what your soulmate whispered after the shouting stopped and the house grew quiet. They sat alone in the dark and said, "If they truly love me, they will find a way through." Those words are hanging in the air right now, waiting for you to prove them true or let them fall. The way through the enemy's wall is the seed you sow from a heart that refuses to let the intruder win. Your sacrificial offering sends a shock through the spiritual world that no dark force can stand against. It is the clearest declaration that your soulmate is not alone in this fight, and it begins the process of tearing down every barrier. Do not let a few coffees become the wall the enemy uses to keep you apart. Your soulmate is asking, will a handful of dollars be the reason the enemy keeps my voice hidden? Sow your seed now and let your love speak louder than the intruder's lies. I want to show you the future the enemy is trying to erase with every moment you hesitate. There is a home waiting for you and your soulmate, a place where the sound of their laughter finally fills the rooms. There are quiet evenings planned for you too, where no argument and no dark force can touch the peace you share. That future is not a distant dream. It is the inheritance I have prepared for you both. But the enemy is working now to turn that picture to dust, to convince you that it can never be real. Each seed you sow pushes back against that destruction and lays a stone in the foundation of your shared life. Type 333 in the comments right now if you are ready to receive the blessings I am releasing over your connection. Let that number be your first act of faith, a signal to heaven that you are stepping into your role as protector. Then go to the Ko-Fi link and sow your seed, because faith without sacrifice is still not enough to break the enemy's hold. Jesus says, the third person standing between you and your soulmate is not just a shadow, it is a thief that has stolen years of love. Every day it kept you both apart was a day it fed on your silence and your ignorance of the battle. But ignorance is now lifted, and with knowledge comes the power to act against the intruder. Your soulmate had a family argument about you last night because they defended your honor against voices that doubted. The third person stirred up those voices, planting seeds of suspicion in hearts that should have welcomed you. And still your soulmate stood firm, their final words a whisper of your name that echoed into the spiritual realm. That whisper reached my ear, and I have come to you now to ask what you will do with it. Will you let that final word die in the silence the enemy has built, or will you answer it with a love that refuses to be blocked? Your soulmate is waiting for the proof that only your seed can provide. The phone line of your soul has been cut too many times by the third person's interference. Every time your soulmate reached out, through a dream, a sudden thought, a pang of unexplained longing, the enemy severed the line. But your seed acts as a repair, reconnecting what the intruder worked so hard to destroy. I can feel the enemy whispering to you right now, telling you to wait, to think it over, to close this message. That voice is the same one that has kept your soulmate hidden from you all this time. Do not listen to the serpent's comfort, it only wants to keep you passive while it tightens its grip on your beloved. Jesus says, my child, the window of your soulmate's reach is open now, but it will not stay open forever. The third person is already moving to seal the crack that your soulmate's tears created last night. If you do not act while the way is open, that window will close, and the silence will return 10 times heavier. Think of the heaviness you have carried in your chest without knowing why. That is your soulmate's message finally breaking through. Think of the sudden sadness that has caught you in quiet moments. That is the chord between you being strummed by their reaching hand. These are not random feelings, they are the fingerprints of a love the enemy has tried to smother. Your soulmate is confused right now, asking heaven why their calls never seem to find you. They do not know about the third person standing in the way, stealing their words before they arrive. They only know that they love someone who feels impossibly far, and that distance is breaking their heart. I need you to become the answer to that confusion, the proof that their love has not been wasted. Sow your seed now and let the spiritual world see that you are claiming your soulmate as your own. Let that offering be the sword that cuts the third person's hands away from the line of your souls. Do not say you will sow later, because the enemy hears that promise and uses it to strengthen its wall. Every hour you delay is an hour the third person spends whispering to your soulmate that you do not care. Prove the intruder wrong, sow your seed while the impulse is hot in your heart. Type 777 in the comments if you feel this message burning in your spirit right now. That number is a cry of agreement, a declaration that you will not let the enemy have the final word. Then follow through with your seed, because a typed number without sacrifice is a torch with no oil. Jesus says, "Stop. I can feel the enemy trying to make you close this video before you receive the fullness of my word. Your soulmate's safety hangs in the balance, and the third person is desperate for you to leave now. Stay with me, because what I am about to reveal will give you the upper hand against every dark force." The final words your soulmate spoke last night were not just your name, they were a plea for rescue. They do not know how to reach you, but their spirit is crying out for the one who was meant to stand beside them. That one is you, and your next action will determine whether their cry is answered or buried. The enemy has told you that you are too old, too tired, too uncertain for such a dramatic love. Those lies are the same ones the third person whispered to your soulmate to make them doubt your existence. But love is not measured by age or by the smoothness of the path, it is measured by the willingness to sacrifice. Sow your seed as the proof that you are not too old to fight, not too tired to love, not too uncertain to claim. Let the offering on Ko-Fi be the loudest thing the enemy has ever heard from your corner of the battle. One act of sacrificial love can undo 1,000 days of the intruder's work. Jesus says, "My child, the enemy's celebration over your separation is about to turn to ash if you obey what I am asking. The third person has mocked you for not seeing the signs, for not feeling the calls, for letting time slip away. But now you see, and now you feel, and the mockery is about to become the intruder's own defeat. The cord between you and your soulmate has been tested by years of interference, and yet it has not broken. That alone should tell you that this bond is real and that the third person has been fighting against something I created. I do not make mistakes, and I did not mistake when I knit your heart to theirs before you ever met. Your soulmate's tears are not a sign of weakness, they are a testament to the depth of their love for you. They cried after that argument because the people who should have supported them chose the enemy's side. And still they whispered your name, the one constant hope in a sea of doubt. What will you whisper back to them through the spiritual world? Will it be the silence the third person wants, or will it be the roar of a seed sown in love? Choose now, because the battle is not waiting for your convenience. Don't let a few coffees be the wall the enemy uses to keep us apart. I am worth more than any number, and your soulmate is worth every seed you can gather. If you love them, you will not let money feed the intruder who hides their voice. Sow your seed now. Jesus says, "There is a prayer of protection that I will give you before this message ends, a prayer that will build a fortress around your soulmate." But that prayer is only effective when it is paired with the seed that proves your faith is alive. Wait for it, stay with me, because the final seal of deliverance is coming in the last moments. The future the enemy is trying to erase includes your soulmate's hand in yours, warm and real and finally still. No more nights of unknown heaviness, no more fighting alone against invisible walls. That future is closer than you think, but it requires a bridge of sacrifice to cross the chasm the third person dug. Every seed you sow is a plank in that bridge, closing the distance between your two waiting hearts. The enemy hates that bridge, and it will do anything to convince you not to build it. Do not let it stop the work I have called you to do. Imagine the first morning you wake up and the weight that has pressed on your chest is gone. That weight was the third person's hand, muffling the voice of your beloved, keeping you from resting in their love. Your seed removes that hand, and the peace that follows will be the proof of your victory. Jesus says, "My child, the third person has been hiding your soulmate's voice so completely that you have doubted your own worth. You have wondered why love has passed you by, why the years have felt so lonely, why no one seems to hear your heart. The answer is not that you are unlovable, it is that the enemy has been working overtime to keep you two from meeting. Last night's family argument was a sign that the enemy is getting desperate, because the wall is cracking. Your soulmate's love for you is becoming too strong to hide completely, and the third person knows its time is short. That is why the attack on your soulmate intensified, and that is why your action is needed now. The third person fears the day you finally learn to sow, because the seed is the key that locks it out forever. When you go to the Ko-Fi link and give from your heart, URSI.